White Coast to Coast on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Paul Stern.
And, of course, everybody is indeed getting ready for the big game, of course, this weekend, the Super Bowl, the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers assembling.
Everybody is picking, has picked the Packers, ladies and gentlemen. And I was going to pick the Packers, and now I'm second-guessing when everybody picks. I do not know what the point spread is, but this is going to be a great Super Bowl game. I hope. It has all the makings of being a great game.
It'll be great. Coming on into the station today, I happened to tune out into the radio, and I happened to hear the director, and I think the vice president of the Las Vegas Hilton Raisin Sportsbook. He was unfortunately referred to as Jay Kornegay. And, of course, it's Jay Kornegay, our good friend there in Las Vegas. He was talking with the talk show host Peter Tilden of a Los Angeles station, and they were talking about the big money that has been coming in on the Green Bay Packers, but that is what they refer to as the fan money. That isn't the wise guy money. I think the wise guy money, for those of you that are into kind of the wagering aspects, might be going on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What is the point spread?
I think the point spread is that the Green Bay Packers favored by, I think, 2.5 points.
So it's a close point. Everybody's looking for a close game here on this one, so it should be good. We're going to find out about how to throw great parties, Super Bowl parties, and a whole lot more. That'll be great for you. Debbie Shawcross is going to be here. Shawcross, she's a party expert. She's going to be giving those parties for you. And, if you're planning one, there's always, for like Super Bowl kind of things or sporting events, you always should have beer, and you should have some wine in case it's going to be some lovely ladies there. I don't think you need to go hard alcohol or anything. People drink way too much as it is anyway. Make sure when you invite guests there are designated drivers involved in case someone does imbibe a little too heavily. You got to kind of keep an eye on that. You want soft drinks as well. And the key factor, and usually in my parties, is to have a great dip. I love chips. If I can find an exotic chip, I will buy that, but then I will also buy a bag of a mainstay chip, because there are some people who are traditionalists and only like a straight potato chip or a straight corn chip or tortilla chip. But at one point, I did find some chips that were made from popcorn. They were popcorn chips, and they were delightful. They were made with the popcorn base, not the wheat base, and just very light and wonderful, and they look just like a regular tortilla-type chip. And they were just great. I wish I remember the name of them, but I think if you look around, you might be able to find them. And I will put that together with either a dip that I make myself or purchase. I have noticed that when I go to people's houses who are more of the gourmand type, they will make what's known as that 7-layer dip that has a layer of the cheese and then the sour cream and whatever, and then they'll go with those bean layers. And I think the better 7-layer dip has more of the bean layer. It packs more of a punch, but it is a better dip. And what I have found over the years is if you go to some of these stores, they sell the 7-layer dip already prepared in a plastic container. You can actually take that out of the plastic container and make it look like you made it yourself, and people will rave about this dip. They'll think you did something really wonderful. They'll still get the same wonderful reaction to it later on after they leave your party with the different multiple layers of bean. And it will be just a wonderful, memorable experience. You know what I'm talking about on this, Paul? Have you seen the 7-layer dips that are already put together, 7 different layers of fun?
I do believe I've seen those in some of the, and I believe have Debbie Shawcross standing by, but I do believe that I've seen those in some of the big box stores. I don't think I've seen those readily available.
They are in all stores. They're all stores. Let's bring Debbie on. Debbie, you know what I'm talking about, don't you, Debbie?
I hate to think that Debbie's going to say this is kind of shortcutting things, but we'll find out.
Debbie?
Yes, how are you?
We're fine. You know what I'm talking about on that 7-layer dip kind of thing?
I do, and I have seen quite a few varieties of those out and about.
Yeah, and they're real easy to get, and you can put them together, and it makes it look like you made it yourself, and it's one of my shortcut tips. Now, Debbie, welcome. For those that don't know you, give us your background. How are you an expert on putting a perfect Super Bowl party, or any party for that matter, together? What's your expertise?
Well, my business, Signature Menus, I'm a chef instructor. I teach people how to plan and organize dinner parties, and I have a new cookbook coming out, Friends at the Table, April 15th.
So that is not out yet. It's coming out.
Couple months, that's right. And it's a supper club cookbook, so it teaches people all about kind of job sharing a gourmet meal. So really pooling your efforts together and sharing in the cooking responsibilities and really getting together with friends. So
what do you mean by what do you mean by like a supper club cookbook? What do you mean by that?
Well, what it is not just having a dinner party. A supper club is actually a group of friends that you get together regularly with and commit to spending time together. So it's a way to develop friendships and grow your relationships, and you're doing the whole thing over a common love of food.
Okay, so it's unlike the restaurant. We have a restaurant on the air, Angelo and Vinci's restaurant, that has what they call their supper club on Friday, which has the the great music and the old supper clubs of old. You're talking about a supper club in your house with the camaraderie and friends and everybody kind of participating together and putting supper together on the table.
Exactly.
Gotcha,
and
gotcha.
The whole idea behind my book is taking that nostalgic appeal of the supper clubs of the 30s and 40s, where you had big band music and people were sipping martinis. This is taking that longing for spending time with friends. Today we're all tweeting and emailing and texting our friends. This supper club concept, the way I'm putting a spin on it, is letting people entertain with friends and taking time out of your busy lives to actually get together and spend some quality time with each other, and job sharing the menu, so you're not spending all day in the kitchen.
Well, let's strike up the band to get the party started.
Yeah, so what are we doing on the Super Bowl party? And by the way, thanks to Barbara for telling me that it's pop chips are the ones that are made from the popcorn that I like. What do you do for a Super Bowl?
Never to get them. Thank you, Barbara.
They're excellent, Paul. Don't say that. You haven't tasted them. They're wonderful. Okay, so go ahead, Debbie.
What do I like for a Super Bowl party?
Yes.
Well, I think really people need to, first of all, think about this as like the ultimate potluck. It's, even for someone who is a reluctant entertainer, this is the perfect time for you to get your feet wet. You can invite friends over, and I really think you need to keep it simple. Anything that can be made ahead, things like, the old standbys, chili, barbecue, things that you can keep in a crock pot, and the whole idea is letting your guests help themselves. So that's kind of where you need to start. So if you're hosting a party, what I like to recommend is focusing on a couple key ingredients. So if you're making a big pot of chili, I personally, my favorite thing is to make a big pot of cioppino.
Cioppino?
San Francisco for a number of years.
You're very gourmet there. Cioppino, seriously, for a Super Bowl?
You can put a gourmet twist on it, but the nice thing about making a cioppino is you can put together the broth a day ahead of time, and then 10 minutes before you're going to serve it, just put in your seafood, and it's kind of simmering in a nice big pot. People can come by and kind of help themselves.
But Debbie, hold on a second. Can you hold on to the next segment, Debbie? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got the cioppino. I mean, wouldn't that be a little messy? I mean, I hate to think of my couch after a bunch of people drinking beer and everything, and then cioppino. I can understand the chili.
Especially if it's sliding off of a paper plate.
Yeah, the chili I can understand. You can get a bowl or something put together, and those pop chips that Barb told us about. By the way, she said they're available at Safeway stores. You can get those pop chips. I can see you can even use a chip to dip some of the in, but the cioppino sounds very gourmet. It sounds like you have to have people a little more aware than, the average person that's drinking at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the drinking belch crowd, I don't know if they're going to be able to make heads or tails out of some cioppino. They'll be looking at it like it's a science experiment.
But it does sound like it's a good undertaking if you want to do it. Debbie Shawcross is with us. Stay with us. We're talking party planning, especially for Super Bowl on CRN.
Have you heard? Proactiv is new and better than ever.